안녕하세요. 정현영입니다. 네, 오늘 미션 임파서블 파이널 레코닝 프레스 컨퍼런스에 와주신 모든 기자님들께 진심으로 감사의 말씀 드리겠습니다. 이 미션 임파서블 파이널 레코닝은 지난 30년간의 시리즈를 총망라하는 챕터로 톰크루즈가 미션 임파서블을 첫 번째 제작 영화로 선택한 이후 시작된 개인적인 여정의 피날레가 될 예정입니다. 톰크루즈 배우는 모두가 아시다시피 어떤 하나의 문화적인 아이콘으로서 지난 40여 년 넘는 시간 동안 40편 이상의 영화를 함께 해 오시면서 정말 많은 관객들에게 즐거움과 또 놀라움을 선사해 주셨는데요. 오늘 이렇게 영화의 주역분들을 함께 모시고 배우 그리고 감독님 모시고 이렇게 무대에서 함께 진행할 예정입니다. 저희가 오늘 진행할 프레스 컨퍼런스는요, 무대 위에서 모든 것은 영어로 진행이 될 예정이기 때문에 다시 한번 말씀드리지만 통역기를 착용해 주시면 감사드리겠습니다. 자, 그러면 이제 준비가 되신 것 같은데요. 그 어떤 작품으로도 능가할 수 없는 미션 임파서블 파이널 레코닝의 제작자이자 주연 배우 톰 크루즈를 무대로 모시겠습니다. This is the mission impossible that cannot be topped, and we are excited to welcome the producer and star, the incomparable Mr. Tom Cruise. Take center stage. We'll do a short photo call. Let's begin with the cameras on your left side, please. Thank you. Now at the center, straight ahead, center. Great. Thank you. And to the right. Right side, please. Thank you. One last call for the center, please. Straight ahead. All right. Thank you so much. We'll take just a moment to bring up some chairs to the stage so that we can begin the press conference right away. Thank you, Tom. Thank you so much. Please go ahead and take your seat.
Thank you very much.
So, Tom, we were here actually 2 years ago.
I know.
You said you'd be back. You kept your word,
Yes,
as always. How does it feel to be back in Korea for the 12th time, which is amazing?
It's amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. And I just want to thank you all for the very warm welcome. I love being here. It's an extraordinary moment, to be here with this film, a film that we've been working on, between Dead Reckoning, this, and Top Gun Maverick. It's really been 7 years for Christopher McQuarrie and I, and our cast has been working on it for 5 years. So it's a great honor for me to be here.
Wonderful, and it's an honor to have you back.
Thank you.
Now, you've said that you feel privileged to be able to entertain the audiences. Can you tell us a little bit about why that is? And also, how is the way you do it through the Mission movies so special to you?
Just making movies is very special, period. It's been my lifelong dream. I remember being 4 years old and wanting to make movies and wanted to travel the world and make films in there. And I remember making my first movie, Taps, first starring role when I was 18 years old, and being there laying in bed and dreaming about what my life is going to be like and what I want it to be like. And I remember thinking I'm just going to dedicate everything I have to cinema and storytelling and learn as much as I can. And hopefully I'll be able to do this the rest of my life because I absolutely love it. It's not what I do, it's who I am. And so I'm very grateful. There hasn't been a day that I have not felt privileged, a day that I have not felt very grateful to be able to do what I do. And thank you for allowing me to entertain you. It is an honor. Thank you.
That's wonderful, and thank you for entertaining us for so many years. And now it has all led to this. So can you please share with us a little bit more in depth about what you have learned throughout your career and also how that has helped make this movie so impactful?
I tell you, what I really dedicate myself to is becoming competent at everything that I do. So the first time I was on a movie set, I basically went and I didn't go to film school. Film school was me studying movies looking at who did what. And then when I got onto a film set, I would just go to each department and I studied each department. And whether it was wardrobe, hair, makeup, camera, production design, and producing. And so I just started studying those movies, and then I was able to make another movie, and I studied that. And then eventually, as I started studying the studio system. And then what I do is that I'll learn a skill, and then I'll apply that skill to storytelling. So if you follow my career from TAPS all the way through, you can see different abilities that I've gained. You know, I remember Legend, I did a movie, film where I did my first underwater sequence, and then you can see my movies. I'm saying, how can I do the underwater sequence better? So I've done many, many underwater sequences, and you can see how this has led to The Final Reckoning, the submarine sequence. And McHugh and I, you know, we've been working together for 19 years now. And it's the same thing, like I try to take everything that I learned from one movie and apply it to the next, and apply it to the next, and apply it to the next. And McHugh is very much the same way. So that's what we do. We try to constantly improve our storytelling ability. You see that I learned how to fly airplanes, I fly jets, I fly airplanes, I fly helicopters, I race cars and motorcycles, all kinds. You know, if I want to sing in a movie, I'll learn how to sing, and then I apply it to the cinema or dance. It's been, and also I love history and I love to travel. So that is my life. Like I'm constantly, I'll go to places and be able to work in them, not just be a tourist, but be able to work within the culture and celebrate those cultures. So that is my dream. So that's why, you know, as a kid, I dreamed of coming to Korea. So to say that it's my 12th time, and it's my 12th time being here, bringing a film here, it's really amazing to me.
That's wonderful to hear. And speaking of those incredible action sequences, the series is known for its jaw-dropping stunts, but The Final Reckoning pushes that even further, where it's the biggest practical movie ever made.
Yes.
So our question to you is, why is it so important to you to always make something that's bigger and better?
Well, I always hope to just make it better. McHugh and I have a thing at the end of every movie we make. You know, I turn to him and I'm like, we can do better. You know, I'm not someone who ever, I'm very happy with, I set a goal for myself and I want to attain that goal. But there's always a new goal. There's always another mountain, always something that we've learned that we can then take it to another level. Even, I'm not just even saying stunts, but just storytelling and structure of stories and characters. So that's how I feel. There's always another mountain, and we always set a new goal for ourselves.
And you know, the wing walking on the biplane sequence, it is absolutely incredible, very scary to watch. And
Very scary to do.
Yeah, I'm sure
It's
it
fun,
was.
though.
And I hear that it was actually a particular childhood dream of yours. Can you tell us a little bit more about
Many
that?
of these things, like McHugh and I will go back and forth, and our whole relationship is kind of just stories and one story to the next. And I remember seeing wing walking when I was a little kid. And I always wanted to do that. I remember being on the airplane, the side of the airplane. I was on an airplane the first time that I flew. And when I get in an airplane, I was 6 years old, and I would think about what's it like being on the wing. You know, I'm in the plane, but my imagination's like, I wonder how long I can hang on to that wing, and what would that be like.
That's actually where you want to sit.
Yeah, that's where I want to be. And I remember, you know, we did that. McHugh put me on the side of that airplane. He was joking. He was like, "Hey, do you want to do this on the side of the, you know, the A400?" I was like, "Yeah, that sounds great." We did that, and then to design this sequence, because I fly airplanes and aerobatic airplanes, there's something that I always wanted to do and to figure out. But look, it took years to be able to figure it out, and we had to go back to Africa twice. It was very, very complex, physically, story-wise, developing cameras, developing the planes, developing a style of flying the aircraft. The wing walking itself was very, very intense every day. Very, very intense. I can't really describe how intense it was. So that it just takes time, and you have to, you know, strive for it. The things that I'll do is I'll set a goal for myself, a task or an ability or an overall goal. So I'll You write the goal down, and then what you do is I write a list of all the things, the steps that I need to take to be able to attain that goal. And that list will change as time goes on, because then it tells me the things that I need to learn, or the things that I know, and the steps that I need to take to be able to do it well. And that's what it was like with this wing walking. It was very, we had to pick the airplanes, and then it's not only just what airplane's going to look good, and this airplane, the Stearman, is an 80-year-old airplane. I'd flown it before. And then we had to evaluate what is the aircraft capable of doing, and then how can I physically move along this aircraft. The wind coming over the airplane, we're traveling at over 100 miles an hour, 140 miles an hour, and I don't know if you've ever driven a car, but just stick your face out of the window at 140 miles an hour. And now picture an entire body and me moving throughout and around that aircraft at those speeds. It was quite intense.
That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was wild.
And to go a little bit deeper into that, when we look at the IMF team, right? They're like a family, and you've been known to describe Christopher McQuarrie as your creative brother for years, and this is a partnership at its absolute peak and the culmination of everything you two have done and learned together. So to talk a little bit more about that, let's now welcome the writer and director of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, Mr. Christopher McQuarrie. Welcome to the stage, and welcome to Korea. All right, we'll do a photo call with the two of you at the center. Let's begin with the cameras on your left side first. Thank you. Now the cameras in the center, straight ahead. Cameras in the center. Straight ahead. Make sure to get the ones in the front row as well as the back. Thank you. In the back. Great. Let's pan to the cameras on your right side now. The right side. To get all the cameras. Thank you. One last pose for the center, maybe. Straight ahead, way back. Yes, we're waving there in the back. Great. All right. Thank you. That'll be it for the photo call, and we'll bring up the chair for the director. Yes, thank you so much. All right, let us take our seats and talk a little bit more about that amazing partnership as creative brothers. Welcome, Chris. Welcome to Korea and up to the stage.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been my privilege to be able to know this man for 19 years. He is, an exceptional, very unique and exceptional storyteller. Not only, his ability to just really, truly write for actors. The way that we work, we don't write a script and then try to cast the actors for that role. You find the actors and you write for them. And never have I worked with anyone that has a greater ability than Christopher McQuarrie to be able to come on and understand the artist and write for them. The detail of these movies, the precision to be able to tell a story like this, the discipline, the amount of coverage you need to be able to tell this story is, you just can't imagine the amount of dedication and understanding of the overall process of storytelling and cinematic storytelling. So it has been my great privilege to be able to work with him and to be here. This is how many times have we been here together now? Like 5, 6 times.
I've lost count.
I know,
Yeah.
It's just amazing. So thank you. I just wanted you all to know that about him.
Of course, and
Well,
thank you so much.
It's very kind of you.
And you started off also well, because the first question I actually had for you was that you two quite literally had to face all the elements in the sky, underwater, and alongside Tom. We would really love to hear more about this.
Well, he would be he got in the water with me.
Right.
And direct me in the water. And he also, when we were working on the sequence, the aerial sequence, he's like, look, I need you to go from the wheel up to the wing and just move across there. And I was like, I can't quickly do that. He's like, what are you talking about? Okay, well, just do what you can. I was like, I want you to do this thing. I was like, McHugh, I can't move like that. What can you do? Like, because we were figuring it out as we were going along. And I said, listen, I said, I can't even breathe. Like when you get out, the wind hits you so hard, you stop breathing. I had to train myself to figure out how do I breathe, because also it's incredibly demanding. Like it's the hardest weight workout you've ever had. And so I finally said, I don't know how to explain it to you. You just have to get on the wing and try it yourself. So I coached him. Yeah, of course he did.
I did.
I coached for 20 minutes. And
Yeah, I had a nice 20-minute tutorial of how to walk on the wing of a plane.
how to not die. How to not die.
How to not die.
And I was like, whatever you do, don't do
die.
this.
Don't do this. Yes, and the most important part was when you're stepping out of the cockpit. You have to remember that you think you're putting your foot there, but when the wind hits your foot, you're actually putting it back there. So you have to do everything predicting where the wind is going to.
And the force of it to move your foot.
And
Yeah,
did that.
it's literally like stepping out into another world from when you leave the cockpit.
He gets into a jet for Top Gun Maverick. You know, he wrote it and produced it with
course.
me and Jerry Bruckheimer. And so he got in their jet. He's flown with me, and I'm his helicopter pilot. I fly him to and from set.
My heli Uber to
My
work.
heli Uber to work, because we're shooting out in these locations they're just in the middle of nowhere. So I had my helicopter there, and I'm his driver.
wow. Now, after you got on the biplane yourself, did the direction or the sequence change at all after you experienced it?
Oh, immediately. It changed everything. And that's what's so challenging about the aerial sequence, the submarine, even the sequences in the Arctic, that until you go there, you can't know. You learn very quickly not to try to outguess it. You just have to be willing to pivot. You have to be willing to change the plan as soon as you get there. And so it took us 2.5 years to build the submarine. It took 2 years, more than 2 years of planning to shoot the aerial. And we did all the things you traditionally do. We storyboarded and we did animations of what we planned to do. But then once you encounter the physics, absolutely none of that applies whatsoever. And you have to start again, right from scratch. But you have to be willing to stay. You also have to stay on schedule.
Wow. I feel like to be able to work together like that, it takes so many different elements and a mixture to create such a profound and pioneering partnership like that. What is the key to that kind of partnership?
No ego whatsoever. There's no pride of authorship. What's so great is that every day we go to work with a plan, but we don't get fixated or obsessed on that plan. It doesn't matter how much work you put into an idea. If the idea is not working, drop it, move on to the other thing.
I'm just interested. Look, he's an extraordinary storyteller. And from the moment I met him, I'm just interested in what he has to say. And I have tremendous respect for him. And I think that foundation of just respect and trust and interest in and belief in him, you know, that's just the foundation of our friendship and our creative respect. And if there's something creatively that he wants to do, I'm always like, I will do it. You know, let's go there. And
That is the agreement. If somebody has an idea, whether you get it or not, just do it.
You have to do
And
it.
one of two things will happen. You'll discover something about yourself as a filmmaker, or the person whose idea it was will say, "This was a terrible idea.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you
was
for
like,
trying that."
That's what I like. There's times where I'm going, I really want to try this. He's like, okay, and I try it, and I'm like, sometimes it works, and he'll take it. He'll understand what it is, and then he'll just take it to the next level. And then there's times where I'm like, thank you very much. I appreciate your patience. You're a very patient man.
That is
and
a
thank
two-way
you.
street. There are many ideas I've had where I was like, that didn't work. I appreciate your support. Sorry about that. We won't do that again.
Yeah, but that's the fun of it. It's the joy of creating. It is the joy of
Entertaining an audience.
and the joy of hanging out and being with him and creating together. It's like nothing is better. I love it. It's just so much fun.
I think I speak for everyone around the world when I say we're so grateful for that friendship because we are truly entertained as audiences. And I want to ask you about the spectacular, to say the least, underwater sequence. You, as Tom mentioned, had to be in there in the tank, and you had to communicate with sign language, as I know that you two came up together with yourself. My first question about that is, how scary was it?
Terrifying. And
sure.
I would say that the scariest part of it was the unknown, that we knew while we were planning it, that when we finally got there to shoot it, we, having learned from the aerial and from the Arctic and from other sequences, that we didn't know what we didn't know. And we were only going to find that out when we got there. That was very, very scary. And the other thing, and what's hard to express when you're watching it, is the mask that Tom is wearing is great for the camera. We can see his whole face, and you can see him from all directions, so it's very cinematic. It is not very efficient for breathing underwater. So Tom is breathing his own CO2, and he's becoming hypoxic as he's doing it. And that made the sequence very, very physically punishing for Tom.
The weight of the suit, the wetness, like sometimes the suit weighed up to 125 pounds and I'm doing pull-ups and moving through it. So
when he's climbing around in the set, not underwater, there's no buoyancy.
Right.
It's like he's carrying weights on his back. It's extremely physically stressful. He's breathing his own CO2, and I'm trying to get the shots as quickly as I can to
I'm
get.
breathing the oxygen in, and then my air gets trapped in that mask, and I'm constantly purging, and he's directing the sequence. And, I mean, setting the cameras inside that, it was trying to figure, it was just like the equation, and I'm constantly trying to recover from the shots and be in a position where I can be there for him. And he's got to watch not only the shot, but he's got to watch me to make sure I'm safe.
And then we have to set the camera in such a way that wherever we set the camera, the set is rotating 360 degrees. So wherever you think Tom's going to be, he's only going to be there for a few seconds.
Wow.
And so each camera position took an enormous amount of time, and all of it involved risk. And when Tom puts the mask on, I have my first AD start a timer, and every 2 minutes, they're telling me 2 minutes in the mask, 4 minutes in the mask. All of that is adding up to the amount of CO2 that Tom is breathing, and how we have to get him out of the mask as quickly as we can.
Of course, I don't want to get out of the mask. I want to stay in there. So at a certain point, he's like,
"Do I cut?
Do I cut? You got to come out, Tom.
Yeah.
We're gonna. I'm like, you know. But he's right. And also now you have different particles in the water, massive missiles and structure that's there. So as I'm going into it, I'm looking at the shot. He and I will go through the cameras together. We're walking through and saying, okay, I'm looking at sharp places where I could get punctured, you know.
And the set had its own, it became its own ecosystem. Once it started to rotate, it began raining inside the set, which creates an enormous amount of noise so no one can hear on the inside or outside the set. And it's creating currents and riptides. So Tom wants to swim in a straight line, but the set is sucking him into the most dangerous parts of the set. There are huge shelves with metal hinges. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, where I didn't want to get trapped in there. So as I'm acting, there's also, people say, how do you do these things? Like there's cameras around. I've been able to create a spatial awareness far exceeding, you know, my own body, so that you have to be able to perceive things in all directions, objects coming at me, cameras, and also performing as we're doing it.
Incredible.
Really important to point out, which we always forget to point out, because Tom has, there's a light inside the helmet so that you can see his face. There's a reflection from his point of view. So Tom's blind. He can't actually see. We can see him, but he can't see out. So everything that he's done, he's rehearsed it all in advance above the water without his mask on. And so everything he's doing is largely by sense of feel.
That is unbelievable. My jaw is dropping as
Yeah, I was like,
as
this
we're
isn't
here.
hard enough. Now, here's the thing. We do the whole thing, and I'm like, I'm slowly telling McHugh these problems because I don't want to overload him. It's like, I need you to do this. It's like, listen, by the way, I can't see when I'm doing this. He's like, what? What are you saying? What are you saying? It's like, because the mask looks good.
You
it
told
took
me you
2
can't
years
breathe.
to develop.
Now you're telling me you can't see.
Yeah, I can't breathe and I can't see.
He also can't hear.
Yes. I can't hear because
He has the suit on, and there's so much noise inside the
Wow.
set, and we have a loudspeaker, and we're trying to call to Tom to yell action, and he actually can't hear us. So it's kind of a miracle we're not still shooting.
I know. There's hand signals going back and forth, and and I also I don't want him worrying. You know what I mean? So I'm like, let's just go through it. Let's
I'm
do
gonna
it.
worry no
I
matter
know he
what.
worries
Yeah,
no
yeah.
matter what.
Well, I think all I can say is we're very grateful that you are here and very
Me too.
healthy and
As
well.
are we.
As are we.
Very happy about that. Now, the both of you have said that this is the culmination of everything you have learned together. So I'd like to ask you, how have you two evolved the Mission series, and how has this series evolved the both of you?
That's a good question.
That's a very good question. I would say the bigger and more complex the movies become, actually the simpler the emotional and visual storytelling becomes. We've learned a lot about what is necessary, what actually communicates, and it's a big challenge for us because we're making these movies for a global audience. They have to translate regardless of what language they're being seen in. And so everything we've learned to do while we're pushing ourselves to be more complex is how do we make things simpler to understand?
Yeah, and I think that's always trying to get to a simplicity within a complexity. Movies are amazing. Making them, it is working with a group of people that are very dedicated. It's on a movie set, you're working with people, and we're very fortunate to work with the people in the tops of their fields. And coming together, it's something that I've been fortunate enough my whole life that I've spent in sound stages, editing rooms, mixing stages my whole life. And so how have we evolved? It's that same way. It's constantly trying to hone our skills of storytelling, of anticipating the problems that will be there, being able to handle the pressures, that enjoying the pressure. We have a saying which is, pressure is a privilege. And the thing I also have realized about myself is how much I enjoy the pressure, how much I enjoy the responsibility of making movies. People ask me, I do a lot of extreme things, and they say, don't you ever get afraid? And I remember, the truth is that yes, but I just don't mind feeling it. I like feeling it. It's something that I don't want to do things that I've done before or feel safe in life necessarily.
Well, you've done that.
Yes.
You have done it indeed.
And I might.
And you have.
It's my job to
too,
mind.
yes. And I think that's just understanding myself and also having a broader understanding of humanity, which is something that I've always wanted to know. I love people, I love the world, and I'm constantly just learning about that and being able to learn new skills and apply it, and definitely my skill set has increased and will continue so.
That's wonderful. And there's a particular group of people that you love, I know.
We do love them.
Yes.
Our amazing cast.
The
Incredible.
audiences love seeing the team come back
Oh my
together
gosh.
to tackle the impossible in these
And I just
epic
have to say,
movies.
this team, these actors, the level of dedication, the level of help and care and friendship that they have given us is something that we are lifelong friends, and we work with the people that we respect, and you'll see them. I mean, you see them in the movie, just tremendous artists, each one of them.
And I think that definitely translates on the screen. So we want to bring the team back together. Before that, we're going to reset the stage. Before we welcome them,
Do you need some help?
I think we're good. Thank you. All right. Now that the stage is set, let's reunite the team with their leader now. So please welcome to the stage Haley Atwell, Simon Pegg, Pom Clementieff, and Greg Tarzan Davis. welcome everyone to the stage as well as, of course, to Korea. Please go ahead and take your seats. Welcome. So great to see the team reunited.
We do photos.
All right.
After, that's right.
Oh, yes. Photos will come later. All right.
I always
so-
love seeing what they're going to wear. I'm always like, they have the greatest wardrobe, these guys.
They
They have
do.
such amazing style.
Agreed. 100%. You all look amazing today.
Yeah, they do.
Thank you.
I want to go
Movie
ahead.
stars, man.
Definitely.
Trying to be like you, Tom.
Oh, man, you're crushing it.
All right. So there were so many international locations in this film, and I just want to ask with the whole group, any particular fun behind-the-scenes stories while you were all traveling together?
For me, Svalbard was the most amazing location in the Arctic Circle. We were all living on an icebreaker, a ship, and we'd shoot during the day on the frozen sea, which was a phenomenal sight and an amazing thing to do. And then in the evening, we'd all sit together in the galley of the ship with all the snacks, and we'd just play poker and other games as well.
Bananagrams.
Bananagrams,
Yeah.
shithead. I don't know if I can say that.
What did you say?
Shithead.
You
And
allowed to say that?
I don't know. I think it's okay if you swear in English. Just don't swear in Korean. But it was just a sense of just real planet Earth, you know, like somewhere that humans shouldn't be. And for us, it was so exciting. And I don't know. That's where I feel like that camaraderie between the team just really gelled.
We would actually have to watch each other's faces to make sure that the noses didn't start to
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
frostbite.
I almost lost my nose.
I
Right?
know. That's
Funny,
right.
Because like right before the take, I was like, oh, I was making a joke that I was losing my nose. You know, I was like, oh, I'm picking up from the ground.
That cold.
And then we start the take, and everyone is like, bum, bum, bum. Like, we stopped the scene, and you need to get warm. I'm like, what's happening? It's like, no, you're gonna get frostbitten. So my nose was changing colors. I think it was becoming white, right?
Frost nip.
Becoming like
Yeah.
transparent. Yeah.
There's something called frost nip, which is what happens before you get frostbite, and your skin becomes very sort of waxy and white. And as soon as that happens, you need to get a hairdryer in your face or a hand warmer on there, because if you leave it, it develops into frostbite. And it was minus 40 degrees.
Oh, wow.
So
And we didn't have a hair dryer, so all of us had to take turns rubbing palm nose like this to warm it up.
And I remember coming onto set for the first time and seeing McHugh and realizing that his entire facial hair had frozen.
Oh,
so he had this huge kind of icicle kind of on his moustache and his
I look
beard.
like a walrus. You
You
can
look
say
like
it.
a walrus. It's true.
I remember you doing a snow angel too, right? I have a video of you doing a snow
That was
angel.
not me. That was not me.
That's incredible.
Okay, I
That
won't
was, that was
release
one of
That
our
was not me.
crew.
He's denying it.
Oh yeah.
He's denying
Sorry.
it. That was
No.
not me. I wasn't doing a snow
I was
angel.
not doing a snow angel, and I was certainly not doing a naked snow angel, which is what one of the members of our crew was doing.
Well, all right. I won't be
Film
asking
crews.
for any videos of that.
no video.
No video. Okay. Now, Simon, actually, I wanted to ask you, you have been playing the beloved Benji for over 20 years. Woo! That is incredible. So how has it been for you to be
Thank
a
you
part
very
of this
much.
incredible franchise as Benji?
yeah, I shot my first scene for Mission Impossible 20 years ago this year. And I had no idea when I first, walked onto that set that this film would become a part of my life for the next 20 years. And it's been such an incredible adventure. I've been all over the world filming and also promoting the movie. I've made incredible friends, and I can't overstate the significance that this film series has for me. And it means the world to me to be part of it. So I'm just delighted.
And to us and to me that you've been part of it. You're such a brilliant artist, and you're incredible. The character you created, I just love it. The moment I saw him in Shaun of the Dead, I was like, oh my gosh, if Simon Pegg could please come in and play this character. And he just came in and he had a monologue, and we were writing it right at that day, and you just crushed it. It was just amazing. That's why, and even when we were shooting it, we added more stuff.
Thank you.
Simon is the king of the last-minute monologue. You hand him.
It's incredible. You could throw this guy like a 5-page monologue, and he'll have it memorized in 2 minutes and know your lines also.
You know what's amazing is that when I went to see Mission Impossible 1 in the theaters when I was 26,
When you were 10.
when I was 10. And I'm watching the movie. I wish I could have come back from the future and sat next to myself and say, hey, one day you're going to be in this. This guy is going to be your friend. And, you know, the irony of that is extraordinary to me. And, you know, things like, as you see in the trailer, that knife that you see in the first film, you know, to see that in action, it's just, I can't even begin to describe how weird that is. It's so weird.
Incredible. And we're very grateful that you did. You were Benji for 20 years because we love
Thank
the
you.
character, as you well know. Haley, I want to ask you, you all spent a lot of time not only working together, but training together. Tell us, what are some of your highlights?
It was very quickly on in the training, I discovered that I could learn fight sequences much quicker and easier if I had a prop. And this worked great for Grace because she is a thief. And it meant that throughout the whole of the training, I got to this kind of level of fitness that was incredible and this resilience that was amazing. And it just meant that we could adapt to any changes that were happening and anything that was needed on set. But this thief element of Grace kind of I took quite to heart. And I actually haven't admitted this to the rest of the team here, but I have actually stolen quite a few things from the set of Mission Impossible. And I was trying.
Method actor.
I was listing them today. I've actually, and I would admit them to you now. I've stolen a key, the poison pill.
Was it the key from the movie or your key to your trailer?
Oh well, the key to the movie.
I no
The
longer
character.
carry a wallet whenever I'm working with Haley.
I have a salt and pepper shaker from a train. I have an ashtray.
Yeah,
I
she's
have
a
some
thief in the film. She's a
letterhead.
very good
I
pickpocket.
should have
That's quite a
stolen
long
things.
list.
Oh,
I have FOMO now.
It's also this like the excitement of the memento because everything is practical. So the size of the sets are built out in such a way where you can open a drawer in the cabin and you can see the incredible amount of detail that's been put into the set design. And I took a couple of fossils as well.
Did you
Sorry
really?
about that.
Were they good? No.
Oh,
They're
from the
yours.
cabin?
Fantastic.
They're yours.
In the cabin.
I wanted to steal some of those
know.
skulls and things.
Oh, they were, and I also stole quite a lot of set glass.
You could have it.
Thank you.
It's yours.
I gave them to my godchildren, who are very excited because they get to watch the screen now and an explosion of glass. And
I saw that on eBay.
I think I'm going to have to cut in here before the list gets any longer.
Tarzan, did you get anything?
Well, I was trying to steal you, but you kept running away.
Yes. You got me already, Tarzan. You know that.
Now, Pom, I want to ask you, you love big action and you also love skydiving. So I want to ask you, motorcycles, everything,
Cars.
Action, right? So was that
Guns.
inspired by Tom by any chance?
Of course, it's like contagious, you know? You're around Tom and he's so vibrant and passionate about all these things. I saw him, you know, in the previous movie do the jumps with the motorcycle. I was like, I want to do that. He looks so happy. I want to try. So I kept asking, you know, like, you know, can I skydive with you guys? You know, with Tom and the stunt team. And Tom was like, no, you need to get your license. So when I wrapped the movie, he gifted me the license to learn how to skydive. Wow. And yeah, and we even jumped together.
I flew out with you the day that you got your license.
Yes.
How many
so
jumps have
fun.
you
To
done
get
now?
the A license is 25 jumps. And he came the last day. We did 9 jumps together, a high altitude jump, and it was amazing. And then you
So
flew your
fun.
own plane back home. You know, totally normal thing to do. Yeah,
course.
and then since then I've done 233 jumps as of today.
Amazing. I mean,
Wow,
she's
that is
a
amazing.
brilliant skydiver, too. I mean, so elegant.
And
Just
also,
a natural.
I have to add something. I love working on Mission Impossible because, you know, when I'm not working, you know, there was like breaks in between shooting. You know, I would like go back home and then I would go skydive and we would send videos to Tom. And he was like, yeah, that's amazing. And, you know, usually you're not allowed to do that, you know, so.
This happened with me
Please
as
just
well.
don't
But it was
Post it.
always be competent.
Don't post it. Just be confident.
You're definitely
No.
Don't
not
be
allowed
careful.
to do that. You're
Be
definitely-
We have a saying, don't be careful. Be
Be
confident.
You're not allowed. There
She
are
is
certain
very-
things that you're not allowed to do whilst you're filming, obviously, because they're dangerous, and it includes all dangerous sports. Tom bought Pom skydiving lessons. He bought me a snowboard when we were doing Ghost Protocol because I was going snowboarding at the weekends. You're not allowed to do this, but he says it's okay, so it must be okay.
We had a day off, so Tom took us shark diving.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
sure, okay, we'll do that. The day
in
of
South
rest.
Africa.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
We did horse riding in the sand dunes in Abu Dhabi.
Somebody couldn't
incredible.
stay inside the Shark Tank. It's boring. Let's go play with the sharks.
Wow.
No, Tom, no, we're having fun together. Let's
Wait,
hold hands.
weren't you seasick too? I remember you being a little
I
bit
remember-
seasick,
Argentina,
right?
seasick.
I have videos too.
That's right.
Turning green, looking very
It
sad.
was,
I'm seasick too, so you know.
And
same,
all
same.
of this on your day off,
Yes.
which
Yes,
is incredible.
that's a day off.
Horseback riding
That's
in
just
Abu
a
Dhabi.
Shark
regular
Tanks.
day off.
That's a day off on Mission Impossible.
Oh, wow. No wonder you're all such a great team. Tarzan, I want to ask you, so you've worked on 3 films with Tom now.
Yes.
How has that experience been, and any fun behind the scenes stories you'd like to share?
oh man, I would say it's been incredible working with Tom. It's been incredible working with McHugh and the rest of the cast, and it's changed my life.
Yeah, it's his third one with McHugh too.
Yeah,
It's him.
this-
Top Gun.
This has changed my life and it's opened my eyes. One, to show that I'm able to do anything. When you have somebody who's literally doing anything and able to do anything, it gives you the confidence to say, well, let me go ahead and try. And Tom helps you and supports you in that aspect. But I do want to talk about this one
He's a
moment.
tremendous athlete, by the way. Continue.
Thank you.
Tremendous.
I do want to talk about this one moment we had in South Africa as we're all together. And you think about what a movie is like. And I'm sitting in the back of this truck, and I'm looking around, and you have Palm there. You have Palm and Tom behind me. Then you have Haley and Simon back there. And I'm just amazed. There's a huge helicopter just going, and everybody on the crew is saying, all right, are you ready? Camera's rolling. And I'm just like, guys, this feels like a movie. And Haley and Simon turned to me, Tarzan, you are in a movie. And I was like, oh, but when you...
That was also the day we got intercepted by a giant tortoise
Yeah.
Yes.
in the road, and that's what's so extraordinary about these. They're real. They're
There's
real
a big tortoise. We
locations.
couldn't move.
There was yes, of course we had to stop and
Shut the movie
let it
down.
pass, and it went on its merry way. It gave us a thumb
No,
up
Martin the gaffer picked it up and he moved it to the side of the road. It was gigantic.
very gently.
My favorite Tarzan story was actually on Dead Reckoning, when we were standing on the roof of a train in Norway. And you turned to me and you said, you know, this is my first time on a train. And I said, yeah, it's mine too. And you said, no, it's my first time in a train, let alone on a train.
Yes,
So Tarzan
I
had
know.
never ridden a train in his life.
In
and
his life, and now the first day he's on top of the train. He spent about 2 minutes on inside, and the rest of the day. That's
Keep in mind, this is my first day shooting on Mission, and I'm on top of a train. What?
Well, that's Mission
We forgot to
Impossible
have the
for you.
conversation to go over with Tarzan. It was like, yeah, because you're such a great athlete. We were like, oh yeah, we don't have to
He'll
brief
be
you.
fine.
When they called and said, hey, we want you to come join the franchise, they didn't mention, yeah, we're just going to put you through the ringer, you know? They just said, hey, it'll be fun.
But as we all know,
And
you
now
did
you know.
pull it off. Yeah, it was amazing. We are now going to open up the floor for questions from the press.
Thank you.
So just a gentle reminder to avoid asking about spoilers. We also kindly ask you to focus your questions what's relevant to the film. Please also ask your questions in Korean for the translation flow. And lastly, we ask that you ask one question per outlet so we give everybody we can hear from as many as possible. All right, so without further ado, please go ahead and raise your hand if you have any questions, and we'll have our staff bring the mic to you. I think I see a hand on the right side. Yes.
네, 안녕하세요. 저 헤러드팝 이미지 기자입니다. 톰크루즈 배우분께 질문 드리겠는데
Who's talking? I beg your pardon. I can't see.
Right there on the right, slightly below.
Oh,
the
hello,
mic.
hello.
Yes.
How are you?
이번 시리즈가 이제 시리즈 마지막이라는 추측이 제기되면서 좀 아쉬워하는 팬들이 많은데 이번 시리즈가 정말 마지막인 건지 아니면 계속될 가능성이 있는 건지 궁금하고요. 그리고 8편에서 이제 그간의 좀 모든 시리즈가 하나로 모아져 정리되는 느낌이었는데 자신의 이제 영화 인생에서 미션 임파서블 시리즈는 좀 어떤 의미인지 듣고 싶습니다.
Thank you for the opportunity. My question is for you, Tom. So there are rumors that this will be the very last installment of the Mission Impossible franchise. So is that true, or do we have a chance of seeing more of Ethan Hunt? And the second part is, when I was watching the film, it felt like everything was sort of coming together to closure for the film. What does this film mean to you personally?
This film is basically, I want the audience to enjoy the film. So the audience has to go see that. It is a culmination of the last 30 years of the franchise. So that's what this is, and I don't want to give anything away for audiences. But just look, I love making movies, and it's my great pleasure to be able to make them and to entertain an audience. That's what it means to me. I love it. Absolutely, I love making movies.
Thank you. We'll take the
I
next
love
question.
making these films.
Amen.
It shows.
It definitely shows. We'll take the
guys do
next
too.
question. I see a hand. Yes. Right here. On the left.
네, 연합뉴스 박원희 기자입니다. 먼저 감독님께 질문드리겠습니다.
I beg your pardon.
지금까지
I see now. Hello.
Can you see?
Hello.
Okay,
How are you?
yes.
Thank you.
감독님께 질문드리겠습니다. 그 미션 임파서블 시리즈를 가장 많이 연출한 감독님이신데 그 다른 작품들과 본인의 다른 작품들과 비교했을 때 이제 어떤 차별점을 이번 작품에서 뒀는지 어떤 주안점을 뒀는지 궁금하고요. 다른 배우님들께 또 질문드리겠는데요. 톰크루즈 외에 그 이번 작품이 좀 어떤 의미인지 본인에게 특히 사이먼 페그는 오랫동안 같이 한 걸로 알고 있는데 이번 작품이 어떤 의미인지 말씀 부탁드립니다.
My first question goes to the director, Chris. So you are the director that has directed the most number of Mission Impossible movies. What are some of the areas of focus that you wanted to bring to this particular film, and also what differentiates The Final Reckoning from the previous ones that you directed? Second part is to the rest of the cast. What does the Mission Impossible films mean to you? In particular, I'd love to hear from Simon because you've been with the franchise for such a long time.
For me, it's always about character and emotion and story. Obviously these are action films, and we're always pushing ourselves to bring bigger and more unique action. But none of that really matters if you don't care about the story and the characters. And I think what differentiates this from the last one, they're all different. The mission is a living, breathing thing. What I've always said is mission has a mind of its own, and I go to work every day wondering what mission has in store for us, not the other way around. And I'm endlessly surprised. And the more we give ourselves over to it, the more we create something unique. And I think this one, what I'm especially proud of in this one is the level of detail with each and every character in the story, that every character has their moment, every character has an emotional arc, and that's really what we set out to do at the beginning of this whole journey, and I feel like we accomplished that.
I think we all agree.
Well, I'll start. For me, being in these films means the world to me. You know, it's like I said before, it's become such a huge part of my life from a moment which I didn't think would repeat, and it's just given me so many opportunities. And I joined in earnest on obviously on 3, but then on Ghost Protocol, which McHugh came in on as a writer. So we've been working together since then, and Tom and I since 3. And I love how from the very first day, McHugh has grown Benji at a very, very intelligent and sort of measured rate, so that he never, ever did anything that was out of character, and yet he changed dramatically as each film goes on. So he is not the person you met in Mission Impossible 3 now. He's far more capable, he's far more experienced, and McHugh never let that character do too much too soon. And I love you for that. I thank you for creating such a wonderful character for me.
Oh, thank you, my friend.
You're welcome.
I would love to take all the credit for that, but that's really just, again, every character that you're seeing in these movies is an extension of the actor playing them, and that's just you give so much, you bring so much. I wasn't kidding about the last-minute monologue. It's amazing where we on those days where it's just like, God, I've got to explain all of this stuff so quickly. Simon will do it. Simon will take it. But what's really important about these movies, because it's all exposition, it's all explaining what the next thing is going to be, the way you manage to make it emotional and the way you manage to always imbue everything with emotion. And you're very underrated as an extraordinary dramatic actor. And that's one of the things I love particularly about this movie is the dramatic sequences that you have. It really is something to watch Simon in this movie. It's very moving to watch it. That how every day we would be in the editing room looking at everybody on the stage And Eddie Hamilton and I and Tom, we'd all be in the editing room going, God, he's so great. God, she's so amazing. Just look at what she's doing. She with nothing, just tiny little expressions. And it's
We
just,
spend all the time afterwards just talking about it. And we were there just 2 hours ago talking about you guys, talking
Yes.
about him. And I don't want to give it away to the things, but it's just such a pleasure to see such talented people just crushing it. It's just, it really is, that's what we live for.
That's beautiful to hear. And I think that's definitely what
Like
all
each
of us...
one of them has such great, tremendous charisma and tremendous ability and very unique talents, each and every one of them. That's why I like looking at the photos of all of you all together. I just want you to know that.
Completely agree, and I think that's exactly what the audiences are going to be saying when we watch the movie in theaters. We'll take the next question over here. Yes.
안녕하세요. JTBC의 강나연 기자라고 합니다. 저는 톰크루즈 배우께 질문 드리고 싶은데요. 지금 미션 임파서블 시리즈와 함께한 지 30년이 됐고 그 사이에 배우도 이제 30대에서 60대가 됐는데 배우로서 나이가 든다는 것이 준 어떤 새로운 매력이나 장점이 있다면 뭐라고 꼽으실 수 있는지 궁금합니다.
My question goes to you, Tom. You've been with the Mission Impossible series for over 30 years, and you were a man in your 30s, and now you're in your 60s. And I want to ask you, as an actor, what does aging and having more years to your name, what kind of new charms, learning, or new insight does that bring to you as a performer?
Wait, you're in your 60s? What?
It's a rumor.
On, no,
No, he ages backwards. What are you talking
What
about?
is an age anyway? Immortal.
I know Mission Impossible was the very first film that I ever produced. And as I said, I just try to constantly take whatever I learned and put it in the next one. And so, and still every single day I'm learning. Every single day, I'm learning something and setting new goals. And it just gets even more exciting. And that's what I have to say. It's just, you look at the things that we're doing now is even more challenging and more extreme, and we're pushing even harder. So it's those kinds of things, when I look at all the skills that I have attained, and I'm constantly trying to improve those skills and just apply it to storytelling. And it's really, an exceptional privilege to be able to do this.
Well said, I think, and it just makes everything get better and better. Next question. Can we get? Yes.
안녕하세요. 국민일보 임세정 기자입니다. 어제 영화 잘 봤습니다. 네, 어제 영화를 보면서 사실 톰 크루즈가 살아서 한국에 오고 이렇게 만난다는 걸 알고 있으면서도 혹시 이산 헌트가 잘못되는 건 아닌가 되게 긴장을 하면서 봤는데요. 이번 영화에서 진짜 산전, 수전, 공중전 다 있었는데 촬영하면서 솔직히 이러다 정말 잘못될 수 있겠다 아찔했던 순간이 있었는지 그 정도는 아니더라도 가장 고생을 많이 한 장면은 어떤 것이었는지 궁금하고요. 그 두 번째로는 아까 계속해서 목표를 세우고 그걸 달성해 나가는 걸 중요하게 여긴다고 하셨는데 사실 팬들의 염원은 이런 위험한 도전들을 하면서 아무 사고 없이 오래 사는 거라고 이제 농담 같은 진담을 얘기하는데요. 지금 시점에서 톰 크루즈의 목표는 무엇인지, 그러니까 뭐 자신의 인생에서도 좋고 아니면 커리어 면에서도 좋고 좀 목표를 말씀해 주시면 좋을 것 같습니다.
My question is for you, Tom. So I really enjoyed watching the film yesterday. And while I was watching it, even though I knew that Tom was going to be here in Korea, that you made it out of everything alive and well, I couldn't help but get extremely tense worrying about what's going to happen to Ethan Hunt. You have done, you fight in all
Thank you
different
very much.
elements, in the air, in water, everywhere. Were there a particular moments or a particular sequence where even you thought to yourself, I might not make it this time, or if it isn't to that degree, you were really, really scared? Second part of my question is, you talked about setting a goal and you like to list the things that you want to get to it and achieve that. And the fans, all they want for you is just to see you without any accidents, live a long and happy life.
Thank you.
What are your personal goals now, whether it's in your personal life or in your career?
Well, first of all, I enjoy the challenges and the pressure of doing what I do. I do it in my personal life, and then I apply it also to storytelling. And listen, there are many times when we're trying to figure the story out. We're trying to figure the sequences out. It's not like it's on a paper and then we can go out and do it. It is exploring the unknown, and creating something is, you know, it is that where are we going from here, and so those moments, I enjoy the pressures of that. I enjoy those moments of sometimes like we don't have the answers. You wake up in the morning and I don't know what's going to happen that day. You know, when we get into the aerial sequence, every day in Africa we get up and it took a lot of ability to confront it. The sequence was more difficult than I thought it would be. Both these sequences in the film, you know, I knew it was going to be a challenge. And so when you have these things, and the thing is that we're responsible for it. I am responsible for it. I wanted to do this. I also created it, and with him, he created it. So there are moments where it's like, we're here because we wanted to be here. And yes, there are moments that we knew we were doing very, very extreme things, and it was uncomfortable, and sometimes, you know, it was very uncomfortable. But it was always exhilarating, exciting, and I like that feeling. The other thing is I have many, many goals personally, many. There's always another thing to learn, a new mountain to climb, another skill to improve or achieve, another story to tell. There's always another story. And I remember when I was very young and I had tremendous success, and some person said to me, I remember, like, where do you go from here? You know, I did.
Yeah, this was after Born on the 4th of July.
Yeah, Born on the 4th of July. I'd done, like, you know, Born on the 4th of July, a guy, like, very, you know, guy who's very well known, head of some studio, and he was like, why don't you just retire now? What are you going to do? I was like, I'm just warming up, you know? And that's what I think what it is that that's how I feel. I'm just warming up. And that's how I feel about life, personally, professionally, that I'm just going to take everything I learned and put it in the next, and put it in the next, and put it in the next. And so personally, I have so many goals. There's so much that I want to create, and we have so many, many movies in front of us. So it never ends. I basically work 7 days a week, and it's my dream. It's my passion.
That's wonderful to hear. I think we have room for just a couple more questions. Last one from the press. Yes, the last question, I think, can come. Yes, in the back.
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 MBC 문다영 기자라고 합니다. 반갑습니다. 톰 크루즈 배우님과 감독님을 포함해서 이 자리에 오신 영화인들께 다 질문을 드립니다. 영화를 보니까 아프리카를 포함한 전 세계의 다양한 로케이션이 나오는 것 같습니다. 근데 최근 뉴스를 보니까 해외에서 제작한 영화에 대해서 관세를 100% 물리겠다는 도널드 트럼프 미국 대통령 발표를 봤습니다. 그래서 이 영화도 그 영향을 받는지 궁금합니다. 그래서 이 영화에서 해외 촬영의 비중이 어느 정도 되는지가 궁금합니다. 설령 영향이 없다고 하더라도 해외에서 제작한 영화에 대해서 향후 관세를 매기겠다는 트럼프 대통령 정책에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시는지 궁금합니다.
I'd like to ask this question to anyone who's up for it. I think, so I watched this film and I saw that it was filmed in many different locations around the world, including Africa. And of course, we all are aware of the tariffs that President Donald Trump has been imposing on overseas productions and films. So is this particular movie under that tariff? And also, how much of the film was shot overseas? I think that's a fair answer. All right. Can we move on to the next question, please? One very last, I think we have a last question coming, I think in the way back. Do you see those arrows
The penguin.
in the back?
I remember you from from the last press tour.
Hey. 안녕하세요.
Oh my God. Oh, hello. I'm Peng's long time no see. 제가 어제 영화를 봤는데요. 와, 정말 액션 종합 선물 세트처럼 느껴졌습니다. 이게 영화가 벌써 끝났지라고 느껴질 정도였으니까요. 특히 그 잠수함 씬이 정말 기억에 남는 게요. 만약 제가 그곳에 있었더라면 이 펭귄 요원으로서 도움을 드릴 수 있었을 텐데 하는 아쉬움이 있습니다. 저번 만날 때 톰크루즈 선배님께서 그 북극 올 생각 있니? 라고 물어봐 주셨는데 그때 좀 멀더라도 갈 걸 그랬어요.
I watched the film yesterday. I loved it. It was like a full gift package. I was surprised that it had ended so quickly. I was watching the submarine sequence and I was thinking, because I'm a penguin, I would be a really helpful agent to Ethan Hunt if I were there. So I'm sad that I wasn't. I should have said yes to you, Tom, when last time you asked me if I was willing to come to the North Pole. I should have said yes.
Yes, you should have.
We missed you.
I'm sorry. 그럼 질문 계속 이어가도 될까요?
May I ask you a question?
Sure. Yeah.
아니, 우선 톰크루즈 선배님에게 좀 질문을 하고 싶습니다. 그 한국 오실 때 혹시 비행기 티켓을 좀 예약을 하셨나요? 그 영화 보니까 혹시 매달려서 오시지 않았을까 싶어가지고요. 그리고 그 한국에는 운칠기삼이라는 말이 있습니다. 운이 70% 그리고 노력이 30%라는 건데요. 그 에단 헌트로서 이제 미션을 수행할 때 운과 노력이 어느 정도 작용했다고 생각하시는지 궁금합니다.
My first quick question to you, Tom, is did you get a plane ticket on your way to Korea? Because I feel like you probably sat on the wing of the airplane, so that's why I'm asking you. And I want to ask, in Korea, there's a saying that success is a mix of 70% luck and 30% effort or skill. So as Ethan Hunt, what does that mixture look like when you were on your mission?
Yeah, I definitely flew on the wing. And I think that, look, here's the thing. Hard work and preparation creates luck. So you can't predict, and you have to be able to have skill. The derivation of art is skill. So the more skill you have, the greater ability you have to be able to face the confusions of life, the confusions of production, and to be able to really create through it. And that when things come that are unpredictable, unforecast, which happens in life and definitely in movies all the time, that we look at it not as a problem, and McHugh and I always go, this is an opportunity. So that's how we look at life.
Can I just say, I think it's a good thing you didn't come to the North Pole because you would have been eaten by a polar bear.
I'm so glad you said it.
I'm so glad you said that.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you.
사랑해.
Well, thank you, Agent Penguin, and thank you, Haley, for that tip. Now, due to time constraints, we are going to have to wrap up here. But before we go, I'd love to hear each of your last comments to the Korean press. And unfortunately, we're going to have to ask you to keep it quite short. Let's start with you, Tom.
Just thank you all very much for having me. It's been extraordinary, this conference and being here. We're all looking forward to the premiere this evening. Yeah, I can't wait. So thank you all so much. I look forward to seeing you all tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
It's just a pleasure to be back. We always look forward to coming back to Korea, and it's as always, we just feel very welcome. It's lovely to see all the people, and we love the culture, and we always feel so welcome here. So thank you.
감사합니다 to Korea. You know I love being here. I came on holiday here last year, so I come here when I'm not working. It's a pleasure to be here, and I can't wait for you to see the movie.
We're so excited to be able to share this adventure with you. We've loved making this movie so much, and being able to be here sharing it with you in person makes the whole experience that much more exciting for us. Thank you so much for your hospitality and your warmth and your kindness and your ongoing support for our movie. Thank you.
I'm very happy to be back, and also my mother was Korean, so it just makes it means a lot to me to be back here, and I can't wait for everyone to watch the movie, and the fans are wonderful, and the food is amazing too. I'm gonna stuff my face with amazing Korean food at lunch.
This is my second time here, and the reception is the same. There's a lot of love, and we poured our heart into this film. We can't wait for y'all to see it and enjoy it just like we've enjoyed it. And I really want to hug that penguin, so I plan on doing that later.
That's wonderful. Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
We
Thank
are
you
going
all.
to wrap the Mission Impossible Final Reckoning press conference here and move on to the final photo call. Thank you all so much. We'll have you put the mics on your seat and you can leave the stage as we reset it for the photo call. Thank you so much.